Once upon a time, deep in the heart of a village, nestled between hills and a whispering wood, lived two brothers, Abdullah and Alif. One night, under a sky brimming with stars, they learned a terrifying lesson about the peril of nighttime whispers. It was deep into the night. Everything around was silent, as if the whole village had fallen asleep. The only sounds were the crickets and the distant hoot of an owl. Suddenly, a gentle breeze rustled through the palm trees, carrying with it the scent of the night-blooming jasmine. It was so still that even the leaves seemed to hold their breath. On the veranda of their home sat Abdullah and Alif, wrapped in comfortable silence. In their hands were two steaming cups of mint tea, the sweet aroma mingling with the night air. Before them lay a small pond, its surface as still and dark as polished obsidian. The moon, veiled in soft clouds, glowed softly over the trees and rooftops, casting an ethereal light that danced and flickered with every gust of wind. The veranda glowed in soft moonlight. Abdullah and Alif sat side by side, sipping tea, watching the moon's reflection dance on the water. Alif, his eyes sparkling in the flickering torchlight, broke the silence. "They say the spirit comes out at night," he began, his voice low, "walks with a swollen belly. If it sits on someone's chest, they can't even scream." Abdullah, his gaze fixed on the moonlit pond, replied calmly, "Those are just old women's tales. There's nothing but the wind and the trees out there." But Alif wasn't convinced. He shivered, pulling his shawl tighter. Just then, the palm leaves outside swayed suddenly, and the torchlight in Abdullah's hand trembled. A chill wind stirred the leaves of the trees, and a flock of birds took flight, their wings beating a frantic tattoo against the night sky. For a moment, the world was still. Then a heavy silence descended, broken only by the distant barking of a dog. Abdullah's smile faded. A cold wind stirred the leaves, and the night grew heavier. In the dark backyard, the two brothers were now the only source of light, their shadows stretching long and distorted on the mud brick wall. Fear tightened its grip on their hearts, turning the night from a comforting blanket of darkness to a suffocating void. Suddenly, a large branch dropped from a nearby tree, crashing to the ground with a resounding thud. Alif, his voice barely a whisper, turned to his brother, his eyes wide with fear. "Come on," he breathed, "let's check." As they cautiously made their way into the backyard, the torchlight flickered, casting grotesque shapes on the ground. Their breaths caught in their throats as they crept closer to the noise, their senses on high alert. Behind the grain shed, they saw it. A dark, blurry figure, seemingly headless, stood still. Its shoulders heaved, revealing an abnormally swollen belly. Alif gasped, his hand tightening on Abdullah's sleeve. Then, as quickly as it appeared, the shadow glided past them, melting into the darkness. The brothers stood frozen, their hearts pounding like drums in their chests. The smell of damp earth and decay filled their nostrils. Then, in a burst of darkness, the shadow vanished. They were left standing in the suffocating silence, the only sound their ragged breaths. Trembling, they ran back to the veranda, gasping for breath. As they huddled together on the veranda, the night pressed in around them, thick and suffocating. The stars, once twinkling companions, seemed like distant, uncaring eyes. They said nothing more, just sat staring at the stars, silently vowing never to speak of spirits at night again. And so the tale of the silent night became a legend in their village, a chilling reminder of the horrors that might lurk in the darkness.